guys, it's Amanda, also known as Amateur Aries, and today we're doing an entertainment, what has been my favorite lately video. Again, I don't know really what to call these videos, but instead of like entertainment, what I've been watching videos. Or playing or reading, which I gotta get my books over here soon too. But I'll tell you what I've been watching first and playing games. Let's do games first. I've been playing Among Us. If you haven't heard of it, you haven't been in the loop. It's like everywhere right now. But I've been playing that. It's a really fun game. It's different. I'm not used to games like that. It gets me on edge because I don't like to like get caught and I don't like to get killed. So I'm usually just going crazy on it a little bit. I'm very horrible at poker faces, so when I am the bad guy or the imposter, I'm very bad at it in the comment section. Especially when I'm playing with my friends here. We have roommates that we play with sometimes. And one of my roommates knows my poker face really, really, really well. Especially my words, my poker words. And he always can tell when I'm lying. And he screams it out throughout the house, so everyone else who's playing with us usually can figure it out. So yeah, that's why I don't usually play with him. What else have I been playing? I was playing Genshin Impact for a time period when it first came out. But I stopped playing it because, sorry for the dirty finger, I was testing my palette. I don't know. I don't know if I like it that much. It's a gacha game basically where you can purchase characters by random, like almost like gambling. Don't like butcher me if it's not like gambling, but to me it's like gambling because you're putting money in and you're not certain if you're going to get that character or not. But I don't like that. I want to earn characters. I don't want to purchase them, especially when you don't get the character you want. Like I really, really wanted one particular character, and my husband got it from spending his money on it, and I got really jealous. I'll be honest. But I got one of the characters that he really wanted, but you can't trade characters. That would have been really cool. So you can't do that on this game. Everyone else in this household is playing it. We have 4 people who live here. 3 of them are playing it. I'm not. Let me read you a little bit what it's about, if I can find anything about it. It's on PC, PS4, and I believe Xbox. Genshin Impact is a free-to-play action role-playing game developed and published by miHoYo. I just lost. The game features a fantasy-based open-world environment and action-based battle system using elemental magic, character switching, and uses gacha game monetization for players to obtain characters, weapons, and other resources. The game features a limited multiplayer mode allowing up to 4 players to play together. Was released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, Android, and iOS, so not Xbox, I guess. This game is planned for the Nintendo Switch. So that's a little bit of Wikipedia on about it. It was a fun game, and I'm not bashing it, I just lost interest in it. And that's really weird because everyone's interested in this game right now. But I don't like games where I have to spend money to get the characters that I want. I just don't like that. Where on Warframe, which I'm very dedicated to and loyal to, I can earn the characters by doing certain missions, fighting certain bosses, and so on. And you can also trade for those characters and those pieces too on a trading system, or you can spend money to purchase them as well. So you have options to get those characters. You don't have to waste time or money purchasing it and maybe getting it. So that's my beef on it. It's just my beef. You're allowed to have your own opinion. And we already spent a lot of money on that game. Like, we shouldn't have spent that much money on it, but Zach's really obsessed with this game. He's like, I want to spend money on it whether you say yes or no. Because men. So that's all I've been really playing lately. I've been mostly just watching TV and editing videos and working out. Of course, working out and drinking soda right after is really just eliminating what time you worked out, so I gotta stop that. So let's tell you what I've been watching. We started watching Frontier and finished the first season. It's on Netflix. It has Jason Momoa on it. It's about there's money to be made in the fur trade in the 1700s, which is why Declan, I forgot how to pronounce his name, sorry, is trying to get a piece of it. The outlaw trapper is leading a campaign to breach the Hudson Bay's company's monopoly on fur in Canada. Lord Bennett, on the other hand, is bent on restoring their company's strange hold on fur, and it's on a mission to stamp out Harp, who turns to an old ally when bounty hunters close in on him. Harp eventually devises an elaborate scheme to plunder Hudson Bay and set a trap for Bennett. It's not a bad show. It's just not, like, there's other things I want to watch over it. So it's not a bad one. It's just maybe in the future I'll finish it. So it might be on the list again one of these days. But there's just other things that we're watching that's more interesting. There's one that we're watching right now that I forgot to write down. Let me get to that one first. Okay, we're watching an anime called Skippy. There's not much on it that explains it. It says the story of Skippy is about Kyoko Mogami, a wistful yet cheery 16-year-old girl who loves her childhood friend Sotaro, but is cruelly, and that's all it says. Basically what happens, let me explain it from my point of view, is she's in love with her best friend, her childhood friend, and she does everything for him. Like, basically she pays for all his bills, she cooks for him and does all this stuff for him, basically like a maid. And she finds out that he was just using her the entire time. This is not a big spoiler, it's in the first episode. Well, it is a spoiler, I guess. But she ends up wanting to get revenge and goes into an industry to go and get revenge on him and everything like that. And it's a really interesting show. It's a little slow at first. We're on the 4th episode, and it was a little bit slow getting there, but I have the manga also, so I read a little bit in the manga, so I'm a little bit ahead of the show that we're watching. But it's a very good show. I like it. I personally love it. Zach's getting into it. He romances when it comes to animes. Who knows? That's what we're currently watching right now. We recently finished a show called Ratched. It's a thriller show. It's by the people who made American Horror Story. It says a young nurse at a mental institution becomes jagged and bitter before turning into a full-fledged monster to her patients. It's a very, very good show. I don't want to say anything else about it because it would be major spoilers to it. It is on Netflix. It is new as a 2020 show. They're expected to make 4 seasons. That's what I read. I don't know if that's what they're doing. Because Netflix usually after a show goes on and it's been watched for a couple of weeks, they tell you whether or not there's going to be another season. And it hasn't said that on this one. So I don't know if they're going to actually have another season or not. I don't know if it got popular enough to have another season. But I liked it a lot. It's a very interesting show to me. I like those thriller type of shows. But it is kind of dark. So if you don't like dark stuff, I wouldn't watch it too much. Give it a try though, because it's still a really good show. Now this one I've seen got beef on a little bit, which is strange because I didn't think that it was that bad of a show. I have only, when I say beef, I saw one person bash it on YouTube. I didn't watch the video, but I saw it in the title. It's based on a game called Dragon's Dogma. It's a very fun game. I love it a lot. I've played it. I haven't beaten it. I have a hard time beating games, let's be honest, because I don't like to see endings for some reason. It's an anxiety thing. I heard that if you don't like to watch or finish books, movies, shows, and games, usually means you're anxious about the ending or something like that. That's what I heard. And it explains a lot because I don't like seeing endings of things for some reason, or I like to know the endings before the ending happens. So I'm prepared. So I haven't finished this game. I kind of know the ending because my husband beat it. The game is about Ethan sets out to vanquish the dragon that took his heart, losing his humanity with every demon he battles. Now the game goes in order of the 7 deadly sins in each episode, which is very interesting, by the way. There is nudity in it, there's sexual contact in it, there's language in it, so if you don't like any of those things or can't watch those things, I wouldn't advise watching the show. I personally like it. It's an anime-based game. It's an anime-based show, so if you don't like anime, it's like a 3D anime-ish kind of look to it. Not entirely going on the line of 3D, but not entirely on the line of just anime either. But it's an interesting show. Me and my husband watched it. We liked it a lot. It's not that long of a show. Each episode isn't that long, so you can probably get through it within a day. like within a couple of hours actually. Now this next one I wasn't expecting to actually watch, but I ended up watching it because I was like, you know what? Let's give it a try. And again, I don't know why I watched it. It's not a particular show that looks like something that I would watch. I'm into, not always am I into anime. I have to be really into the story in order to get into anime. But I like to watch TV shows a lot because they help distract me, or that I usually listen to them in the background while I'm working. So this show I wasn't expecting to like because it looks childish almost. Like the animation is childish in my opinion. Not saying that it's a childish show, it's not. Well, it can be. It doesn't show blood, it doesn't show gore, but it does show instances of people dying. But it doesn't show the death, if that makes any sense. And like in Game of Thrones, you're not sure if the person's actually dead or not if you don't see it. But it's not in this show. This show, yeah, you can tell they're dead. It's called Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. It's a 2020 TV show. Teens attending an adventure camp on the opposite side of Isla Nublar must band together to survive when dinosaurs wreak havoc on the island. It's just like Jurassic World. That's all I have to say. It just has a different outtake to it. You should watch it. The ending was... I was not expecting that ending. Like, I was not expecting that ending. When it finished, I was like, is there another episode? It's like, I was not expecting that at all. It's a fun show to watch. It's another one that's, the episodes are not very long, so you can get through it pretty quickly. I like dinosaurs a lot. That's the reason why I watched it, even regardless of the animation style that it is. And I like Jurassic World the series and Jurassic Park the series, so I figured I'll give it a try. And it was on like Netflix's top page for like a day, so I was like, yeah, sometimes the shows on the top page are really impressively good. Like the next one I'm gonna talk about. So it's a good show. The animation's a little bit childish, but it's not that childish of a show, I wouldn't say. PG-13. Now this last show I was obsessed with. It's very dark. It involves criminology, involves thriller, involves kind of supernatural. It's called Evil, and it's on Netflix. It's all it's called. It's just called Evil. It's a 2019 TV show, but it's said that they're in production to make the next season. I got my roommates into it. So it's called A Skeptical, let me open this up. It is about a skeptical psychologist, Christian Bouchard, joins David Acosta, who is training to be a Catholic priest and a blue-collar contractor as they investigate the church's backlog of unexplained mysteries, including supposed miracles, demonic possession, and other extraordinary occurrences. Their job is to access if there's a logical explanation or if something truly supernatural is at work, examining the origins of evil along the dividing line between science and religion. The series is created by Robert and Michelle King. I don't know who those people are. I have never seen any of the other shows, but it's in the description, so I am supposing it's important. It's a really good show. There was a couple episodes that after the episode I had to really think about what happened in the episode. I was like, what? So if you like thrillers about demonic possession, evil related stuff like criminals and stuff like that, I would definitely advise watching it. But it's dark. There's blood in it. There's demonic possession in it. There's language in it. So I would suggest being careful when watching it if that's something you're not interested in or if you're not allowed to watch it. I don't know the ratings on it. Let me see if it says. Yeah, it doesn't say. That's all I've been watching and all I've been playing, so I'm going to go grab my books and I'll show you the 3 books that I've been reading at the same time. So 2 of these books you guys most likely have heard about because they're turned into movies. But I've personally never, ever read these books. I don't know why. I heard they're very good and impressive books. I've seen the movies, but I just didn't read them for some reason. I guess there was just a time period in my life where I just didn't read books, period. But recently I've been reading a lot. So the first book is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Everyone's heard about this series. If you haven't, why? Like, where have you been? But I'm not that far in it. Like, I'm kind of like a quarter, getting to a quarter mark. It's really good. I love the small books. Harry Potter has never played a sport while flying on broomstick. He's never worn a cloak of invisibility, befriended a giant, or helped hatch a dragon. All Harry knows is a miserable life with the Dursleys. Dursleys? I don't remember how to pronounce their names, I'm sorry. His horrible aunt and uncle and their abominable son, Dudley. Harry's room is a tiny closet at the foot of the stairs, and he hasn't had a birthday party in 11 years. That's all I'm going to read about, because you guys should... I want to say you guys should know what this series is about. But I don't want to say that at the same time, although I just did. So that's that. This one hasn't turned into a movie, and I'm a little surprised that it hasn't turned into a movie. But I borrowed it from my roommate because I read this book back in high school. At least I think it was in high school. Might have been a little bit after high school. But I read it at one point. I finished the first book. I started the second book. And I didn't finish the second book because I didn't like where the book was going. But she told me that it changes at the end. So I was like, I'll give it another try. So I am reading Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. It's about, as you can see, I'm not going to explain it. It's about this. Like angels, etc., etc. It's a little bit ruined because I don't know what happened to it, but it's her book, so. But I am interested in it because I like angels, and I'm writing a book that involves angels. So I like to read things that are similar to my book. That's why I'm reading this book also. When Nora and Patch are forced together as lab partners, Nora would rather fall to her death than put up with his elusive answers to her questions, his teasing, and his infuriatingly handsome face and hypnotizing eyes. It seems Patch was up on Earth just to drive her crazy. That's all I'm going to read because descriptions of books are pretty long. And I don't want to make this video way too long, although it's already kind of long. But it's a good book so far if you're into angels, etc., etc. I would advise watching it. I don't know much more about it because it was a long time ago when I read it. So I don't remember much about it. I don't know if it's a romance. I think it's a romance. Romance and something else. It's age 14 up. It doesn't say, but it's a young adult book. So, yes. My next book that I'm reading is possibly my dad's favorite series. It's the Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan? I've watched the movies. I kind of like the movies. They're kind of cheesy. They don't follow the book very well. They do follow it, but not very well. Let me put it like that. So I'm reading the book because I wanted to know the story by the story. So this is where I'm at right here. Ignore this one. This is where I usually like to have two bookmarks, one saying where I last read and how much I've read within that day, because I like to know. Percy Jackson is about to be kicked out of boarding school again, and that's the least of his troubles. Lately, mythological monsters and gods of Mount Olympus seem to be walking straight out of the pages of Percy's Greek mythology textbook and into his life. And worse, he's angered a few of them. Zeus's master lightning bolt has been stolen, and Percy is a prime suspect. That's all I'm going to read about that part of this book. So that's what I've been reading. This is a book. This is a movie series. There's 2 movies to it. Following this one and the second book, I believe. Reading this, I noticed the movies are a little bit weird on how they're placing some of the timeline. But it's a good book so far. It's a child's book, like I want to say like middle school related book. But it's a good one. I like to read young adult / middle school books because it's easier for me to read. Anything higher than that gets a little complicated and I have to really focus to read them. And like Game of Thrones. Like when I'm reading Game of Thrones, I'm lucky that I've seen the entire series because it's easier for me to put faces on the characters and places and the places. I have to really focus when reading that because of that. With stuff like this, it's easier for me to put faces on the characters' faces, etc., etc. But that is all that I've been reading, watching, and playing. I hope that you guys like this video. I wanted to get this video up by the end of this month, but it probably won't be happening. It's October 28th. It'll probably be up in November. So I'm sorry about that. I'll probably do another entertainment video, hopefully at the end of November, about things I've been watching from November. That's if I watch anything. Sometimes I just go on phases where I don't watch anything at all or play anything at all. And hopefully I've finished these books by then. Because most likely I won't. Because I'm a very slow reader. I have to be really in the mood to read. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it has encouraged you to watch some shows or play some games or read some books. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. So like, comment, and subscribe. And again, have a wonderful day.